Yo, what up, What's going on, world? Happy Labor Day, and welcome to the Wrap Up Podcast. I'm Fresh, that's Steph. What's going on, brother? How's your Labor Day?
Well, I'm trying to find out where my music at, man.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was waiting on, too.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, baby.
There it is. We give it to you raw, no cut.
No cut.
As I wipe the sweat from my brow, because I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, take it how you get it.
What's going on, man?
Chilling, dog, chilling. So you know what? I wanted to talk about, man, because I've been getting in a lot. I know you said you didn't heard it a few times. Is that people been asking, yo, what happened to the last podcast? What happened to the guy in the middle? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, just a little background. Basically, Steph ran it past. He was us, and he was like, "Yo, it's too many light skinned niggas on the show." And he was like,
"The battle's forever."
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, one of y'all gotta go." So it was on some Killmonger, T'Challa type shit. So I'm still here, and that's that.
Yo, hey, believe whatever part you want to believe. America.
No, man, everything is all good. Just some creative differences, but everything is all good. B, that's my man. Ain't nothing changed. We still cool. But the M came out this weekend. How you feeling the M, man? You digging it?
I felt it better than was it Revival?
Revival.
Felt it better than that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Now, I was one of the people who definitely trashed Revival. So in that first song, when he was talking about everybody who was talking about his album, he was talking to me. And I'm cool with that. I was very critical of Revival. I thought it was trash. This album, super dope.
Yeah, it was.
Very, very dope. M was this was back to the super aggressive M. I like how he came off with it. I like how, he addressed people, how he addressed the media, how he addressed the criticism of his album. Hell, even he criticized his album a little bit. So, I thought that this album was dope. A couple of songs that I wasn't really feeling all that much, but for the most part, it is a super dope project. The bars is crazy.
Yeah, he went off.
He came out the gate swinging.
He went off.
Yeah, I was impressed. I thought it was dope.
What was surprising to me, I read a couple of reviews, and I'm a Wikipedia cat, so everything I'm watching, listen to, I'm going to go to the Googles, right? Mm-hmm. So the critics they didn't give it a bad review, but they, gave it 65, 70%, saying he's a middle-aged man still trying to find, that wealth of fame that he had when he was young, but I don't think that was the case.
I don't either.
If you listen to the album and the content, he was pretty much in a dope way mocking the rap that quote unquote the masses want to hear right now.
Definitely was.
But he gave it with lyrics.
He did. It's like he took their flows, and then he talked about how he didn't like that choppy flow that everybody uses, everybody sounding the same, and he still bodied the record. And he bodied the project. I thought it was super dope. And the whole, middle age trying to find your niche or your lane. That to me that isn't in music.
Nah.
Because you still got Rakim who's still out here ripping.
Yep.
You still got Jay who out here ripping. Jay 50 or about to be. Nas is 50 or somewhere around in there. Them dudes is old. Compared to the relative rap community. So I don't care how old he is, or I just want him to give me what M normally does, and he did that. So I don't think it got anything to do with
it was solid.
Him being whatever his age is. So I don't know. That's a trash critique. The last album was trash. This album was dope.
Yeah, this was a solid M effort. It wasn't Marshall Mathers or anything like that,
right.
But from the last maybe 3 that he put out, 3 or 4. This was Recovery was dope. I like Recovery. So this was kind of eliminate the relapse and a revival for me. Yeah. So it was a good solid.
And the Marshall Mathers LP too.
Yeah.
That shit was whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and that was the reason that I felt the way that I felt when I talked about him out of my top 5 and all of that. Mm-hmm. But he's still cold. I take nothing away from that man. He just showed how dope he still is. Mm-hmm. So I thought the project was super dope. It was definitely
Rappity Rap, but he had a couple of
you
guys say I don't have content. I'm not gonna give you any content, but I'm about to pop bars on everybody that says
that's
something.
all he did. He went straight bar heavy.
So if you like Rappity Rap, you got Rappity Rap on this joint.
You got a bunch of bars. You got some super ridiculous flow. His flow, he danced all on a lot of these tracks. Yeah. The production was okay.
He's always suffered from that though.
Yeah, the production was not. It wasn't super dope. It wasn't bad either. I mean, Revival's production wasn't bad in my opinion. It just wasn't, a full body project that I was looking for. But this, he nailed it. He nailed it.
And even the two dope tracks to me were the Jordan Lucas and the Royce track.
Yeah, both of them was dope.
Yeah.
The very first track, the Ringer. Yeah. He came out the gate swinging. That joint was dope. But yeah, I would probably say the Jordan Lucas joint. I think it's called Lucky One.
Yeah, Lucky something.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite track right now. But Royce definitely bodied it.
Royce got down.
Man, I'm surprised that he took a couple jabs at D12 and Joe and Joe Budden.
D12, we are not recording again.
Yeah, and it was heartfelt.
And Denon wasn't even in production on this album. So, Mr. Porter,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, he's not even on production. He
did kind of give him a shout out though. He did. He kind of gave him a shout out on it. So
he gave Bizarre even a shout out on it.
Yeah, he did.
Well, Bizarre, but the rest of them, Swifty McVeigh, I don't know their names, but that is one of their names. As I say, I don't know their names. Yeah,
Nah, but I get it. Oh man!
But solid effort. If y'all haven't heard it, pick it up. It's a nice little piece.
Definitely go.
We got to find us a rating system so we can start rating these albums. Like we're gonna have a wrap it up button, man. You got to get up out of here or something.
I like that.
We got to do something. Man.
Yeah. We gonna have to brainstorm on that joint.
Because in essence, that is kind of how we got started doing this. So we gotta get some reviews in.
Nah, that makes sense. Yeah, but if you haven't checked the M out, definitely go ahead, listen to that.
Kamikaze.
Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. Oh, the artwork. The
artwork
was dope.
Yeah.
Pay homage to the Beastie Boys. But all in all, it was a very dope project. I liked it, man.
I agree.
Shifting focus. What I really wanted to talk about today was something that I guess you could say I'm well versed in.
It's near and dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah, man. Dating with kids, dating with children is definitely a very, I ain't gonna say touchy subject, but it's definitely it's funny to maneuver in a relationship when either one or both of you all have children.
And you got a different view from me because I don't have any.
Right.
So
I mean, it is one thing's for sure is you're a bit more guarded in the things that you do, the things that you say, the way that you move around. Usually for your children's sake, and not even just for your children, but also for yourself, because whoever you dealing with, they gotta understand, like, yo, it's a package deal, fam.
You right.
Right. It's a lot that goes into dating or having any type of relationship with somebody who does have a child, whether you have one or not.
Yeah.
But one thing that I see a lot is people with children dating other people with children because they say, okay, they get it. So, I mean, and I'm not even necessarily to say that it's always going to work or that it won't work, but at least you have a hurdle down, a hurdle already cleared, because they understand the magnitude of your situation.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like, yo, you could understand why I can or can't do some of these certain things because of the parental lifestyle that I lead. But then it also comes down to how that person is as a parent.
True.
Everybody ain't the same type of parent.
You're right.
Everybody is not the same type of parent. So, I mean, what would you say are some of the things? What's some of the toughest things with dating someone who does have a kid, from a perspective of someone who doesn't?
And as we all know, I'm not opposed to it. I've dated quite a few that had children or kids, however you want to say it. my thing is, and it's a stigma. I was actually speaking with a young lady the other day, and we were talking about. She said I had a bias. I said a bias about what? She said a bias over fresh babies. I can't date you if you got a fresh baby, man.
That baby still got a soft spot.
Yeah, no,
can't go.
If your baby fresh out there, I can't ride. I don't know if it's me and my shallow howlness, but I know for a fact that I wouldn't be fulfilled because your attention is on the fresh baby, right?
True.
So
I dig that.
Instead of me trying to be the man and say, I can handle it and blah blah. No, I can't handle it because I may want to go out and you can't find no setter.
Yeah.
And it's a fresh baby. Not a lot of people want to watch a fresh baby.
It's tough.
So
you know what? I give you props though, because for you to be able to say that and put it out there up front is better than her finding out on the back end.
Absolutely.
So at least you laying the cards on the table like, yo, shorty, that baby's 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
it's not popping.
His finger's still sticking up in his eye. You know what they do I can't roll with that, man. So if you got a 5-year-old or toddler, that's a different situation.
I dig
because you can in some form find something that you all can do as a collective. Whether it's the zoo or the park, they can kind of hold their bodies functions in a certain way, whereas with a baby, it's pretty much you at the crib.
All your focus is on the baby.
Which I'm not opposed to, but you trying to talk to me on the phone, and you got, hey, hang up with me.
I gotta go get this bottle out there.
Just hang up
at the microwave real quick,
and go handle the crying baby. Don't hang up.
Like, he ain't alright.
Yeah. This dude,
I dig it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I've been in relation, never dated anybody with a fresh baby. Fresh baby's hilarious, but I can't foresee myself. But you don't know where love will take you or where the Lord will lead you.
True.
But I can't see myself, being with someone with the they still got stitches, if you will. I can't ride because your drama's still kind of fresh. You know what I'm saying?
That can be true. So that's a good point.
If you have drama, you may not even have
That's what I'm about to say. That was a good point. Getting to the drama. Not saying that it can be drama or that it's always going to be drama, but that's a totally different dynamic too. Because now, obviously, if that person's got a kid, they had a kid with somebody who was in their past of some sort. So it's like,
and they love each other at least once. At least once.
Sometimes it might not be. I didn't came across some situations, not in the situation, but I didn't came across some situations where it was just like, we just messing around and then oops, we got a kid, and then it's like, so they ain't really have no strings attached. But after you get a kid, it's definitely an attachment, whether you want it or not.
A huge one.
So the exes or the other parent always plays. Even if you don't want them to, they're going to play some type of dynamic, unless they, I don't know, incarcerated in jail or something. Then it ain't too much of a dynamic they can play at all. But usually it's you, or at least you would like to have that person in their life, in the child's life somehow, some way, or even if they not, that can still be a part of drama or another dynamic. It's so many different nuances that go into dating with children, and is one thing that I don't think enough attention is paid to is the way that the children watch.
Oh yeah.
The way that the kids watch. So it's like I'm dating someone right now who has children. I have children, and the way that the children watch, of course I can speak for my kids, the way that they watch or they ask questions or the way that they interact with people is totally different based upon what they see their parent do. And if you continuously have this revolving door of people who you bringing in and out of your children's life, that's going to set them up for something, I ain't gonna say detrimental, but it can it can present hurdles in the future with how to love, how to trust, how naive, how gullible you could be, how open, how vulnerable you want to be or not be. That kids are so much like sponges and they absorb so much that you always want to be conscious of the relationships that you bring around them, the energy that you bring around them, because you never know how those situations might mold their thinking. Especially, and one thing's for sure is you got to talk to your kids. You know, with you know, relative you know, respect for what they can handle mentally. You know, so I mean, it's like you can't be sitting there like you said with the fresh baby talking about some, yo, I'm finna bring this girl over here, and I want you to understand. You know, it's so you speak to them and let them understand that, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I got going on, and that's when you get to that point. You know, you. I think it's healthy for you to have that conversation with your children, just so they're not caught off guard. To just be like, yo, what the hell is this? This is so different from what I'm used to. Because whether that person is going to be in your life or not, once they come across or have any interaction with your children, I think they need to be well aware of how it might change the dynamic.
So when is it too soon for the children to meet the other party?
It's a good question. Because
I've been in some joints where I haven't met the kids, and I understand that. But then once again, being someone without children, am I wasting time now? I understand what you're doing, but if we've been rocking for, and this is just a hypothetical number out here, I ain't talked to nobody like this. This is hypothetical. If you talk to somebody for 7 months, 6 months, and you haven't met their seed, what are we doing? You know,
True.
But I understand you protecting. I don't know if you're gonna be here long and all that. But then at some point, let me at least do a FaceTime.
Yeah, hey, I feel you.
Give me a FaceTime.
It's I don't know if you could put a number on it or you know, a time frame on it to say that's a good amount of time. Just because it depends on the dynamic of the relationship too.
That's true.
Because the thing is, okay, let's say I'm in a relationship with this girl and we've been dating for 3 months, and I let her meet my kid, and everything is cool, but all of a sudden it just don't work out. But then I meet this other chick, we've been dating for 6 months, and she has kids, and she don't want me to meet her kids because of the things that she went through in the past. You know, so maybe it's been a dude in her life that, you know, he came in, he met the kids, and then I don't know, maybe he did her bogus, or maybe the dude who she had the kids with, it didn't quite work out, and now she feels real sheltered. It's like, no, I'm protecting mines to the death. You know, so then that might turn her off from letting anybody meet her kids. You got to tear down that wall because she feels she doesn't want her children to be vulnerable. So it's so many different factors, so many different things that can you know, play a role, so many different variables that changes that time frame. I think the main thing that you want to do is you have to have some semblance of trust to say, you know what, this person is not going to have any ill will toward my kids or myself. You know, because at the end of the day, anytime that you're in a relationship, you're going to hurt that person eventually. You know, it may not even be intentional, but if you're in a relationship, you're going to hurt that person. And usually when you're hurting somebody's feelings is because you said or you did something to make them feel vulnerable, or you broke mistrust or something. You know, if it gets to that magnitude. So once you do that and you're in a relationship with somebody who has children, you've also done that to that child.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, oh, well, depending on the magnitude or whatever it is. I mean, because again, this has so many different factors.
Yeah, because I've been in joints where me and the woman broke up and was fine, but then there's the attachment that I have
to the kid
that ain't mine. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
So I see what you're saying, but even coming from the single guy perspective, it's still kind of a two-way.
Yeah,
you know?
No, oh, for sure. Yeah,
my way is less treacherous than hers, of course, but it's still kind of twofold.
No, it definitely is, because one thing I will say is anytime that you're dating somebody with children and they're not yours, whether you're single or whether you have children, patience is going to be huge.
Absolutely.
I really think that that's probably going to be the thing at the top of the list, because with kids, things change in an instant. You know, it's like, oh, I ain't got a babysitter. Oh, you know, they got sick. Or, oh, you know what, they got a school play, or I got a football game or ballet recital. Things change just like that with kids because it's always something going on.
Yeah.
So your patience, you have to have a certain level of patience to deal with anybody who has children, whether you got children or not. So that's one thing that's always going to be a huge part of any relationship anyway. But now you're not being just patient and understanding of just this one person who you in a relationship with. You're being patient and understanding of what this person has to do for this child or do with this child. It's going to be points and times where you just going to have to understand that you're going to get put on the back burner for the kid.
You're right.
Whether you got kids or not.
You're right.
Because as a parent, you don't have that wiggle room or that area to always be selfish, or you know what, like, oh, I'm gonna do for me right now.
And I think a lot of times, that's a good point that you brought up. I think a lot of times women don't think the guy, especially if they don't have kids, will understand that this is what I have to do. So normally when they say they have to do things, they kind of say it in a way that they believe the unfathered individual will understand it. But no, if we got plans and little Jamie is coughing, okay, I get that. So I think sometimes I think that they put more pressure on themselves because well, you know, I canceled last week, and
that's true.
And you know, I think he throwing hints and saying that we don't do nothing, you know. So I think oftentimes they put pressure on themselves. Once again, I got to keep saying that because I'm not a parent and I don't want to say anything but being in my relationships. That's been a sense when I'm understanding, if we can't go out, all right, hit me up when you want to go out, but don't not call me because you think I may feel a certain way of not going out. If I come up with an alternative, we can't come out, well, let's go to an arcade, let's go bowling, he can come, then it's onus on you if you want to do that or not with the kid. So in my relationship, they've normally put that on me, saying that, well, you know, I'm compromising a lot because I don't have any choice. It is. So
that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a side that I haven't been a part of in a long time. With compromising. So as a parent, you are constantly thinking like, okay, well, I'm compromising for my kid. I just need you to be understanding.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that you brought up that you're like, okay, well, I'm compromising my time to try to be flexible for you and your child. So that's a very good point. It's a lot of flexibility that plays a role, or compromise that plays a role on both sides. I'm glad you brought that up. It's a sticky situation though. Dating with kids is I ain't gonna say it's difficult, but it's so many different things that you and that person have to be on the same page about, or it's not gonna get very far. You can have all the love in the world for that person or for the kids, for that matter. I mean, because once you meet the children, that could have things go one of two different ways. Be like, man, I can't really stand this baby.
Once you pick them up in the mall and y'all walking around and they on your hip,
oh man,
you done transformed yourself. That's a level of trust that you've now garnered from that child.
Man, because that's the thing, and that really shapes and molds the way that the children think. Once the child lets their guard down, and the parent sees that, hey, my son, my daughter has let their guard down around my significant other, that lets the adult say, okay, now maybe I can let my guard down.
Absolutely.
But once you do that, and you open up that door to say, hey, you're going to be around my kid seems to like you, y'all interacting, y'all hanging out, spending time. If you ever shut that off, oh man. If you ever shut that off, or you start to not even treat the child bad, but you treat them differently than how you did before, that is absolutely going to, first of all, you don't know how the child is going to be affected by that. some kids is different. Some kids is just like, you know, it's like, oh, well, why he don't come around no more, or why she don't come around no more. It's like, oh, well, I don't know, and then they just forget about it and they don't really give a shit. But then other kids will be like, man, I really built a bond with this person. Why aren't they there? Why aren't they here for me anymore? I felt like they left me. And then depending on whatever happened with the previous parent, you know, it's you really are shaping the way, you know, how this kid handles relationships, how they handle heartbreak. Because if you hurt their mama or you hurt their father, that can be projected onto the child.
And that's true. And the visual is deep. I was in one joint in a relationship. I was in a clink. I was in one relationship, and she wanted me to stay over.
Okay.
But me being who I am and how I'm built, I couldn't do it. And she was like, "Why not?" So we had a long conversation.
The bed was too small.
And I told her no. And I told her I couldn't do it because I didn't want her child to wake up in the morning and see me, because I'm not her pops.
I dig that.
You know, so
I dig that.
It took her. I don't think ever really understood where I was coming from, even when I broke it down to the layman's of terms. But for me, not being that child's father, I couldn't stay there and then I wake up and I'm making breakfast.
How old was the child?
Probably 5, 6.
Okay.
You know, so that means a lot to me. Even though if the dad was in that child's life, yes, but still the optics. I didn't want to have that optic. Now I can come from home and come to your house at 8 o'clock and make breakfast. That's not a problem, and that's just the way that I was built. Maybe the way I was raised, but you know, some things you develop as an adult. I didn't want to have that image to that lady's particular child.
I dig it. I understand that. I understand. You know what? One thing that is, I ain't gonna say. One thing that I would say is important is the way that you interact with the child is something that you're going to have to keep up.
Yeah.
It's not you can't turn that off, because kids is going to expect you, if once you're there, kids expect you to be there. You know, they once they get accustomed to something, you know, with your relationship, you being around, you know, the way that you interact with their parent, once they get accustomed to that and say, this is a part of my normal routine, you know, this is a formality. When we go out with mom, I expect you to be there.
Especially when you get into the mode where, let's say, moms or dad can't get there and you're asked to pick them up from school or pick them up from somewhere, and you have to do it for an extended period of time, or you do it often. They come to expect, when you come, you may take them to get ice cream, or you may do something that the mom or the dad may not do. So now if you set that expectation, then when that's gone, you know,
they're gonna be like, man, they let me down. Because they've got to that certain level of, you know what, this is what I expect from them, because this is how they've always treated me. So when you get in a relationship with somebody who has kids, or you have kids yourself, you're building multiple relationships, you know, because your relationship that you have with your significant other and what you have with their children is something that you expect both of them to grow. I'm hoping that you would expect both of them to grow. Because essentially, if you're getting in a relationship and you just expect it to be what it is when you first start, I don't know why you're getting in a relationship anyway. You should have an end goal. You know, and that's what the whole the you know, talking and dating and courting phase is all about. I ain't saying as soon as you get with somebody, be like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna marry her.
Can't say court no more, man. Ain't nobody trying to court.
That might be the issue, though.
When I tell girls
that might be the issue,
they dial up like, no, let me court you. To me, it's just a fly word to just say court.
I dig it.
It's a fly word. It's a fly word. So a lot of them don't be understanding that, man.
And I don't understand why. How do you not understand that? It should be something that should be relatively common, because when you're in a relationship, to me, it should always be about consistently building upon what you already have. Because if you starting at, I don't know, if you starting from ground level, or you starting from you know, step one, level one, and that's where you expect to be at, you don't expect to grow from that or expound upon that, then what's the point in having a relationship?
It's not a point.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole courting phase is, yo, I need to get to know who
it's
you
legit.
are. Yeah, it's a necessity. You know, it's like I need to know who you are, what you about, what are you into, what are your goals, what are your aspirations, what are your fears, what makes you tick, what makes you who you are.
I may not want to meet your baby after some of the stuff you told me.
Exactly. You know what? The whole courting phase lets you know, like, yo, maybe I need to hit exit stage left right now.
You ain't the only one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's a really good point. And I don't understand why people don't do more courting.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole process of getting to know somebody is more important than, you know, just all of the other things that come with a relationship.
That's true.
You gotta want to know who you getting. You know,
you should
who
know.
right. Who you should want to know who you getting into a relationship with. People crazy as hell nowadays.
You're right.
So if that's something that you're trying to bypass, then maybe that's a more self-evaluation. But I think that might be more for younger people.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say, I'm talking like we old, but, you know, I'm talking about like teenagers, maybe your early 20s or something like that, where it's just, you just doing it just to do it. It's just a fly-by-night kind of phase kind of thing. Or you just out there doing what you want to do. You creating experiences, you living life, you doing what it is. But, man, once you get to your mid-late 20s, your 30s, and you're in a relationship, you shouldn't just be this is just me. I'm just speaking from my experience. I would never want to just be out there in a relationship just to be in a relationship or just to have something to do. I'm not just trying to create just
to not be lonely.
Yeah. I ain't just out here just trying to, you know, I'm just living today, you know? Yeah. Fuck that. I'm trying to create something so I'll be able to live for the rest of my life, you know?
That's right.
So, I mean, some people build different.
All right, so let's kind of turn the table a little bit. We don't talk about fresh babies and toddlers.
Fresh babies. That's gonna be one.
You can use that too, man. You can use that one.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So, what about dating in the workplace? A coworker.
Dating in the workplace.
Stacy, an accountant.
Stacy in accounting. Yeah. So, that's a good point. That's another one. That's like it's funny because you see this person all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, it's something that you're with them for a long. You with them all day.
Yeah,
and then if you dating, then you gonna be with them all night too. Yeah. I think you really just have to find a way to, I ain't gonna say turn off the relationship, but you always have to be mindful of what's perceived around you.
That's the thing. You
have to be mindful of what's perceived around you, because you still want to. It's a tight rope. It's a thin line to walk when you dating somebody who you work with, because, and on one side it's like, yo, I want them to know that I want them. It's like I want you to know I want you. We together. We here. This is us. But then on the flip side of that, you don't need everybody else knowing that. Or want everybody else in your business. And we're like, oh, what y'all doing? What y'all into?
And that's the thing, we've both dated in the workplace. I've had relationships where dated in the workplace. Mm-hmm. Y'all have a little rift, whatever, the night before. Mm-hmm. You go into the break room or to the cafeteria, wherever your office set up.
Yeah.
And everybody looking at you with flashlight, and you like, oh, she done been sitting up in here.
It's like she done told everybody.
Like, yo, but then I had those as well where I didn't share outside of a few select, and they would be upset because you weren't telling anybody. So if you date in the workplace, that's cool. I don't have any quarrels or qualms with that. But for me personally, let's keep work and home. Very much so. If I have to have you do something or you need me to do something at work, we should be able to do it without, give me your copy. It shouldn't be all of that. It should be a thing where we can go to lunch, but we have that professional relationship, and you shouldn't want everybody to know about how Stephan did this and that. So next thing you know, you mad at me because Stacy, an accountant, is sitting on my desk now.
Right.
Because you're giving her the flavor.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
And the thing is, you really gotta, in my opinion, you gotta play it closer to the chest.
Yeah.
And the reason is because as soon as your business or whatever you got going on gets out, it can turn into so many different things.
Absolutely.
Rumors could start, or not even necessarily a rumor. It could be something that's true, but then it's just too many people now who want to be in your business as to where, I would much rather keep some type of exclusivity about what we got going on.
That's the word.
So the last thing you want is somebody all in your business, and you got to understand that that's going to be a part of, being in the workplace. First of all, I'm going to generalize all women here.
Yeah,
women want to tell somebody about their relationship, especially if it's something that they're proud of. So it's nothing wrong with that. But usually you got work.
And if you're the apple of the office eye. If you just that dude in the office. If you that cat.
Of course. If you are somebody who, might be of some importance in that office when it comes to the rest of these ladies, she gonna for lack of a better term, she wanna piss on her tree.
Yeah.
She wanna piss on her tree. Be like,
insert scent here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So it's like, if that's the case, then, and there's nothing wrong with that, but women want to tell other people about their relationship. It has to be a certain level of discretion of what you willing to tell and what you willing to say. Or if you're going to tell whoever this person is, then you better tell them, keep it close to the chest too. Don't tell everybody this don't need to get out, because as soon as y'all, like I said, relationships is going to have its ups and downs. If y'all at a down point and it's in the office or in the workplace or wherever you at, then and other people know about it, then they gonna automatically assume like, what's going on with so and so? Y'all okay?
Yeah.
What's the deal? Is everything all right? Or what did you do?
Yeah.
Then everybody is in your business. That's so. Whenever it comes to dating somebody in the workplace, I think it's always important to have a certain level of discretion of what you got going on. Because if you don't, then that can just cause for more drama within the workplace. You don't never want it to jeopardize your job.
No.
And I ain't been in no situation, but I've seen situations where it can possibly jeopardize somebody's job just because of the way that things was handled. It takes a certain level of maturity to deal with somebody and be in a relationship with someone who you work with.
Yeah.
Both of y'all have to be at a very mature, even plane with, hey, this is how we gonna play this. This is how we gonna, handle these type of situations if we asked, or y'all definitely got to be on the same
page,
the same wavelengths. Because if not, they gonna come up to you and be like, yo, John, you dating so and so? John be like, nah. Be like, yo, Ashley, you dating John? Be like, hell yeah, girl, that's my man. And then be like, yo, but what's the name said John ain't dating.
Yeah.
And then that's when the shit happens. Then it hit the fan. You get home, and be like, what's this that I heard about so and so and all of this? It might not even wait till you get home, like you said. It might hit the break room, and then it's some more BS. So I think more than anything, is just y'all gotta have a very good understanding of this is what we are gonna do, or this is what we not gonna do. Whatever it is, y'all gotta have a very clear, concise, open line of communication with how y'all gonna handle y'all relationship collectively in the workplace. I think if you got that, then you straight.
Easier said than done.
Easier
said than done.
For sure.
Easier said than done.
Oh, for sure, definitely, because it's like I said, there's so many different things that go into it that might change the dynamic, with depending on who you tell. Or depending on, whatever y'all going through, y'all might be having a, great time in y'all relationship. And then other people just pick up on that. Be like, yo, you spending a lot more time with Stacy in accountant. You spending a lot more time with Stacy in accountant. I see that's you.
So you have to be a finesser. You have to be able to finesse in the situation. Whereas in most cases, and I'll speak for myself, and you and I, we've worked together.
Yeah.
And guys don't normally do that. Be like, oh, I heard you talking to a lot of cats. Don't it just come up in conversation? Be like, oh, word, that's you, and that's it.
And then it is over with from there. Yeah, it don't because you know what, it don't really it never really has to go into much detail about.
Now you got some cats that want details like women, but those are the select few.
And then them the dudes who I probably wouldn't be telling nothing anyway.
That you wouldn't tell anything.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you right though.
Because now they want them.
Yeah,
because you got them.
The conversation is the dynamic of the conversation is much different for sure between the your guys who you talking to at work, who you interact with, or girls and how they interact with other women at work or other guys. Yeah, because I mean it'll definitely be. That's a good point too. Is the way that I would present the situation would be different with, between my female or male coworkers. Because now the way that you say, okay, well, I'm dating so-and-so to a girl as opposed to how you would say it to a man might be totally different. Yeah. Because you don't know how that woman is now going to perceive it as to where most guys is just going to be like, okay, that is what it is and it's dead from there.
And you don't want to, in a roundabout way or not even knowing, denounce the relationship.
Right, exactly.
Because then that can get back in, so we don't go to, so you still have to find a way to tactfully let them know that we doing this. Most people get it when you say, we cool, we hung out a couple times, we went to lunch. Then that's kind of it.
Yeah, or then it's some women who are pressed and be like, what you mean y'all cool? Yeah. What you mean y'all just went to lunch?
It's that's like, because she got the favor, man.
Exactly.
That's all that is. She got the favor.
Exactly. And they go around.
Man, contagious.
Oh, man.
That had a bunch of favors, man.
It definitely happens. It definitely happens. I think more than anything, man, it's the communication with you and your girl, or vice versa. You just have to have a very open line of communication with how you want to handle that situation in the workplace, because it's so many different things that can go wrong. Yeah. And I think that's why I ain't gonna say so many, but that's why people shy away from it. Be like, I wouldn't date with nobody. I wouldn't date anybody in the workplace or whatever, just because they may have experienced something that was a poor experience, or maybe they've heard somebody else who had a poor experience, different things like that. But I'm definitely not opposed to it, but
you got to scout. You better scout,
man.
Director of scouting. You need to know the stands.
Director of player development.
Man, you need to know everything. You just don't go out there willy nilly, man.
It's not gonna end well.
If they hit foul balls all the time, or if they be trying to go deep, man, you got to know if they, a player for contact and all that. You can't.
How long have they played on this AAA team?
Yeah, man. You can't just go out there and be like, ooh, I want her and I'm gonna have. No, man. You got to scout. It don't work like
that. Yeah, for sure. That's a very good point, man.
She may not be able to juke when you needed a juke.
You know
what I'm saying? Exactly. She can't stutter style.
She's not elusive.
For real. Her cross game is horrible. And now you sitting up there looking crazy because she can only go straight forward.
Man.
Or he can only go straight forward.
But then that brings up the point that we said before. It's about courting. Yeah. So I mean, and that might even be prior to you getting in a relationship. Courting don't mean that you have to be with that person to court them. You can just be like, yo, we talking, we cool, we chilling, we vibing. I want to get to know who you are before I say, yes, you are my girl, or yes, that's my man, depending on whatever the situation is. So that's a major point of getting to know somebody. Is okay, who are you? What makes you tick? Why are you the way you are? It's already, if you ever get to that point, then it's already something that then drawn you to them, some type of attraction, some type of interest. So now it's just time to expound on that. Let's see, why am I attracted to this person? You might find some stuff out there, be like, I'm turned off now, or I'm not attracted to her no more because of something that she said or something that she did or something that just doesn't align with the way that I'm set up. And that doesn't mean that all of a sudden that she's a bad person, but they just might not be on your same wavelength. They might not have your same energy. They might not have the same type of goals that you have, and you should be able to, maybe not necessarily immediately, but you should be able to pick up on that and say, you know what, this will waste both of our time because we're built different.
And I've been fortunate enough to not break up in the workplace. I probably couldn't handle that because I know how I am, and I couldn't handle a. Not saying I'm gonna go wild. I'm gonna throw your papers and stuff off your desk and all that stuff just like that. But me, I know how my breakup is. So my breakup is a different kind of level than other people's breakup.
I feel you.
My breakup is I break out. You know what I'm saying?
I break out. Yeah. It's like, look, one of us gotta quit, and I've been here longer than you. For real. My tenure is deeper.
That you got to check. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, yeah.
So I
filled out some job applications for you.
That has to be hard to break up with somebody in the workplace.
Especially, I haven't had to go through that.
Exactly, especially if you're in the same department. How do you remedy that pain, that hurt?
Yeah.
Thank God I've never had to go through that. If you gotta see that
person every day or interact with them every day,
man.
Wow, that might be a tough one.
Because in breakups, I'm 0 dark 30, man. I'm gone.
It's just off the grid.
You don't see me at all.
That would be definitely something that would present some difficulties. Like you work with, like, you can't answer my text, you can't answer my phone call, but you showing up at work in the cubicle.
For real, man. I sent you an email saying I need some black ink. You can't respond. Like, I just went and got the ink.
But you sure went and got Susan the iced tea out the vending machine.
But she in the counter.
Nigga, you ain't shit.
I see you walking, filling up her mug with coffee. Man, you ain't never did that for me.
That would be a totally different dynamic.
Couldn't do it.
I never even thought of that. Like, yo,
we've been blessed, man.
You know, never having to break up in the workplace. Yeah, that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Because I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any blow ups. I've seen some
riffs.
Yeah,
some riffs.
Yeah, we definitely seen a few riffs.
Yeah,
but man, it's a totally different dynamic that you play when you're working with somebody, because you literally are there all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a break from that.
And projects together, maybe.
Oh man, so. Yeah. Depending on that's a good thing that you brought up. Is depending on the dynamic of the interaction within the workplace. Like, it's different if you working on 15 and she working on 12.
Yeah.
But if both of y'all work on the same floor, both of y'all work in the same department, same building, all of that, then it's totally different because. Working with somebody in the same place, but y'all in totally different ends of the spectrum, then it might be alright.
You can go out a different door.
Yeah.
To the whip. You know
what I'm saying? Text her like, babe, I'm out front already. I'm outside warming up the car.
Yeah, man. It's hard. So the rule of thumb for everybody out there: no fresh babies.
No fresh babies.
You got to court, and whoever you're gonna choose as your significant other at work. They gotta be able to do that UTEP 2-step, man. They have to get a Kyrie shimmy, man.
A Kyrie shimmy.
You cannot be out here and all you can do is Mike Allstock go forward.
Yeah, that ain't gonna get you. That ain't gonna get the job done unless it's always 4th and 2.
I need you to get that. What is it though, Madden? The B button. I need you to have a B button and a triangle, boy. I need a hurdle and a spin.
Oh man, yeah, but I'm with you on that. Courting in communication, I think, is the highest things with dealing with both of those situations. Yeah. Whether you're dealing with dating somebody who has a child or dating in the workplace, courting and communication is going to be very high, and patience is going to be very high on the list, because without those things, it's too many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
You and not just, you need those in abundance. Patience, courting, and being able to communicate, because if you don't, it's not gonna end well.
It's not, and it never does.
Not at all.
It never does. But you gotta, to each his own. Some people are connoisseurs in that. Me, I'm kind of low key on mine. So
it's about building the experience. You know better after you. Well, you do better. You know better.
Yeah.
So it's like, after you deal with something for so long, you say, you know what, this will work for me, this won't. So you go out there and live life, and then
That's right. That's right. So episode 3.
Episode 3 in the bag, man. It's a wrap. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what y'all think about dating in the workplace or dating with children. I know everybody got their own experiences, so hit us up. Let us know what y'all like.
The apps, man.
You always forget the apps, man. I do, man. I just expect you to be the guru and put them on the page.
Just before then.
Put them on the page. He gonna put them on the page at the Wrap Up Podcast. That's our Gmail, right?
Yeah.
No, Gmail is the Wrap Up Podcast at Gmail.
The Wrap Up Pod.
The Wrap Up Pod. My bad. The Instagram is the Wrap Up Podcast.
Wrap Up Podcast.
iTunes is on iTunes. You can find us at the Wrap Up Podcast or the Wrap Up Pod. Both of them will pop up. Same way on YouTube is the Wrap Up Pod. So man, definitely hit us up. We on iTunes. We on Google Play.
Subscribe, follow, support.
All of that, man. Just make sure you keep tuning in. We gonna keep giving you new content, alright? Yeah. Peace.
No fresh babies. I gotta stop saying that, man. That's
newborns.
That's a good look for being old, man.
Fresh babies.
But what Teddy say? At 8? Oh.
Oh man.